Men going their own way are crashing the simp economy.
The collapse of the simp economy has made it impossible for gold diggers to control Simp's wallet. For single women, the dream of marrying a rich and handsome Prince Charming seems even more out of reach.
Men going their own way are crashing the simp economy, and it serves these gold diggers right. So the simp economy is collapsing around us all the way from the United States to Southeast Asia. Watch in this video to fully understand the implications of the simp economy crashing, how this will affect women going forward. Today's video comes from China Observer. They'll be linked in the description. And now let's just go ahead and jump right back into the video.
On 520 day, a phenomenon emerged on one side, gold diggers getting nothing, and the other side, older single women lamenting, "No man pays attention to me." The so-called simp economy is a popular term that has emerged on the internet in mainland China in recent years. In the simp economy, simp describes those who are excessively attentive and overly adoring of the opposite sex. And the main point is, despite their continuous dedication and attentiveness, they may not necessarily win the favor of the other person. The consumption generated by these simps in their efforts to please is collectively referred to as the simp economy. It must be said that Chinese capitalists have made a fortune off the simp economy. And those who are vain and willing to use their bodies and look to exchange for gifts and money, treating love as a business, are the gold diggers who rely most on the simp economy. They need men to buy for them. In fact, the rise of the May 20th festival is a consumer trap set by businesses. During good economic times, people don't care much about where their money goes, only whether they spend it happily. Only in economic downturns, when money is tight, do people become clear-headed and see through the capitalist schemes. The once romantic confession day, May 20th, is now labeled as, by many men, as Gold Diggers' Day. The public opinion suggests this directly proves that men are waking up. In the past, the tradition of men unilaterally buying gifts for women led to unequal spending and returns for men. Sometimes, if they bought the wrong gift or not enough, instead of praise, they face criticism. Many now believe it's better to spend money on themselves or their families. Pursuing a relationship not only requires money but also time and effort. For simps, long-term dedication does not bring certainty.
Imagine being called a simp. So, guys, I like to watch other content creators. I saw a meme over on Chow's channel, over on Red's channel, Chow Time Podcast. Go check him out. Great guy. And I saw this video he posted. It was a really good one. And if you look at it, it's from Brianna Ska, right? So this looks like one of those Twitter thingies. And she basically says, I know this one girl that had physical relationships. So she slept with 20 different guys in 1 month, ha- had her pregnant and then had her pregnant friend pee on a pregnancy test. Then she texted all 20 guys a selfie with the pregnancy test saying she needed $550 for an abortion before it was too late. I promise it wasn't me. Yeah, guys, this is how modern women are operating. This is called extortion. And a lot of women are finding themselves in court facing long periods of prison time for doing this. Now, of course, is she going to get away with it? Probably, although it's a lot of money. That is a massive amount of money that she stole from these men. Okay. And it would be just as easy for her to also turn around and say that, what happened was not, she did not provide full CONSENT. So you know how modern women work, the play games that they play. But I mean, guys, $550 from all of these guys. Let's say that every single guy actually said yes. That works out to $11,000. $11,000. She was with 20 guys, 20 different guys in 1 month, and then she hit all of them up for 11,000. She hit them all up for a collective $11,000. How many times do you think this woman has done this? This is a way. This is 100% a way of basically surviving off men. It's 100% a way of living off men. Okay, like a lot of women could create this economy around themselves where they basically say that they're going to extort men for their wealth, extort men for their money, and use lies. And society, and guys, they are preying upon men. This is predatory behavior. Okay, this is the definition of extortion. These women, I mean, when you if men were committing these kinds of crimes, they would be in prison for 50 years. As if you do it to one person. She did this to 20 different men, and we don't know how many guys paid up. And then to make matters even worse, we don't know how many times she's done this. That's the reason why I said that, guys, a woman can be with 20 guys in the same day. You have to think about a woman who works at a brothel can be with 20 guys in the same day. You, as a man, you cannot be with 20 women in the same day. I know some of you idiots will go, "You don't know me, Angry. All right, speak for yourself. You don't know me. You're an idiot. You're a complete and utter idiot. You cannot be with 20 women in the same day." All right? Not realistically. Not realistically. Okay? But a woman can be with 20 guys in the same day. Easily 20 guys in the same month. That's not even one guy a day. All right? She can space them out. And then she can turn around and then have these guys believing that if they don't pay her this money, she's going to bring a baby into this world, and now that's going to be 18 years or more of child support depending on the state that they live in. This is how they get you. These are the games they play with you. This is what men are passing through. It's a predatory system out here that is preying upon men.
Increasing sunk costs. Moreover, in the current economic downturn, the pressures from unemployment and housing prices, young people are losing confidence in the future. Nowadays, many young people believe that making money is better than finding a partner. In the midst of busy working schedules, managing a relationship that requires significant financial expenditures has become a burden. When times are good, they might have indulged a bit, but when money is tight and expectations are lowered, they have to consider cost effectiveness. With limited funds, investing in a vague dream seems less appealing than spending on oneself and enjoying life in the present. Due to the collapse of the simp economy, businesses have experienced the worst sales on record for this May 20th. Scenes of 10 yuan for 5 bouquets and piles of flowers and garbage bins seems to be announcing to the Chinese society there is no way we're spending money for love. This was a scene on May 20th this year. The video showed beautifully packaged flowers, which used to be the most sought-after items on this day, now reduced to 10 yuan for 5 bouquets at street stalls. Flowers, 10 yuan for 5 bouquets, 10 yuan for 5 bouquets. Despite this, there are still very few customers, and most of them are women. It's important to know that in previous years, these flowers were in high demand on May 20th. If you didn't reserve them in advance, buying on the day meant outrageous prices and uncertain availability. But now, piles of flowers are turning into mountains of garbage, and no one wants them. Previously on May 20th, the area around trash bins would be filled with beautifully packaged flowers and gifts. You could make more money by scavenging around a trash bin than by going to work. But this year's May 20th, trash bins weren't as lively. Most of what is discarded were flowers, and the occasional discarded gift was nowhere near the quality of previous years. With the collapse of the simp economy, there's not even worthwhile trash to pick up anymore. This young lady tried to capitalize on a couple's argument by scavenging for discarded gifts to make some money, but when she opened one, it turned out to be just a bag of dates. Look, there's a couple arguing over there. Oh my gosh, the gift is from Dior. I really don't understand how you can get rejected after giving a Dior gift. What's going on here? Dude, you're something else. Putting dates in a Dior box to give to a girl? I thought I scored when I picked this up. Do you think that's fair to the girl receiving the gift? She opened it full of hope, only to find dates inside. You don't even deserve me picking it up. No wonder you're single. Oh well, I'll take it anyway. Dates are pretty tasty and good for the blood.
So, guys, notice what happens. You have this woman who is going through the garbage, this this type of individual, and she's shaming a man for not giving a woman an expensive gift that was thrown in the trash. But then she says that she's going to keep the dates for herself because dates are good for the blood. So she's basically going in the garbage, taking up trash, and saying that she's going to eat the garbage. She really doesn't even know if those dates are good or not. She doesn't care. Like that's how. So guys, you have women who are desperate for survival right now, and they will eat your food as they are telling you that you're a bum and you don't even deserve them. When you're not even asking them out on a date. She's like, you don't even deserve me going into the garbage to pick up your garbage. Do you understand the mental state of modern women? When this is why we say they never loved you. They only like what you can do for them. They only like what you can give to them, provide for them, but they never like you. They never loved you. She never loved you as a person.
She also remarked, this year the gifts from guys are especially cheap. This video content creator tried to make some money on May 20th by picking up unwanted gifts from others, only to find that with the poor economy, there were no gifts to collect. Whose handsome guy's gift is this, left here? Come claim it. Let's get a close-up. I told you not to be a content creator, and here you are, out at night picking up trash. Maybe it's because the economy is bad now, so people are afraid to buy gifts, and we can't even find trash. But there are so many people picking up trash today. Everyone wants to get something cheap. Wow, we found a treasure. There's an Armani lipstick hidden in these flowers, just perfect for me. The person who gave the flowers understands romance, but we ended up with it. Those people who found LV and Hermes gifts today, where do you think they picked them up? It's all staged. On May 20th, the Chengdu metro station entrance became an internet sensation. The trash cans outside the station were piled high with beautifully packaged flowers, with no one claiming them. This scene sparked heated discussions online, with many female viewers expressing their feelings that their lives were worse than a trash can, which was filled with flowers, while they received none. The collapse of the simp economy is most accurately felt by merchants. Many flower shops, jewelry stores, and hotels hoped to cash in on the holiday, but reality dealt them a heavy blow. The owner of a Suibei gold store in Shenzhen recorded a video complaining that this year's sales were the lowest ever.
Based on the sales data from previous stores, the sales performance on this year's May 20th is probably the worst ever. For those running hotels, restaurants, and flower shops, how are you holding up?
Additionally, this hotel owner complained,
in previous years, the king-size beds for May 20th were fully booked well in advance, and prices would have gone up by now. But today, I noticed that on C-Trip and Meituan in Xi'an City, the prices for king-size rooms in all central business districts and popular tourist spots, like the Bell and Drum Tower and the giant Wild Goose Pagoda, start at 100 yuan. The prices are generally between 100 and 200 yuan, which is lower than in previous years. Including my hotel, we still have a dozen or so-called king-size rooms available. So I think the market is really struggling. Anyone thinking of investing in the hotel business should be extremely cautious.
Basically, guys, the men are walking away. They're beginning to realize that they're better off spending their money on themselves. Black Myth Wukong, the game that basically told our reviewers, like, hey, if you're going to review our game and if you're going to take codes to review our games, you cannot discuss feminist propaganda. You cannot woke ideologies. You can only focus on the game. That game is one of the biggest games to ever come out. Last we checked, it had made something like $850 million in 3 weeks. And we don't even know how much it's made at this point. It may hit $1 billion. It may honestly hit $1 billion in sales, which is absolutely insane. This is a game that banned feminist propaganda. Okay, while on the other hand, Concord is now costing Sony an estimated $250 million. Originally, we thought it was $100 million, $130 million. Concord is a woke game that Sony put out with basically woke characters. All the characters in the game are woke. There are very few white men, if any white males in the game, and it's supposed to be diverse. And it only sold 25,000 copies. It took almost 10 years to develop, 6 to 8 years to develop, and the company has raised like a total of $250,000 from Sony, and it basically, they've lost the vast majority of that, evidently, if not the whole damn thing. And this is, and there's other expenses to be considered as well. So when we factor in everything, it's not even just like 250 million. It may be somewhere between 300 and 500 million dollars total that this game will cost Sony. And of course, Sony doesn't give a shit, because they're just going to keep on passing the expense on to consumers. If you look at the PlayStation 5 Pro, they just revealed it this past week, and it's going to be $700 for a video game console that's exactly the same as the PlayStation 5 without a disc drive and a vertical stand. Yeah, this is the nonsense that's going on over there. A lot, they tried this Star Wars Outlaws. It's caused the shares that it's another feminist woke game. It's caused the shares that Ubisoft to plummet even further. Ubisoft has been putting out these games based around diversity, equity, inclusion, and feminist propaganda. Their share prices, they've fallen from being a roughly $13 billion company to being somewhere around 1.7 to $2 billion. So they've lost 80% of their share price since 2018, and now investors are actually pushing towards a hostile takeover of the business, and Ubisoft is swearing to double down. If their stock price falls any further, it could end up going below $1 billion and resulting in the company even being delisted, because it's a publicly traded company. It could result in the company getting delisted, and then someone who would have to step in and purchase Ubisoft. Then those investors would lose all of their money. And of course, Ubisoft would then argue that they don't care. They did this in the name of diversity, equity, and inclusion. If you look at Microsoft right now, Microsoft fired their entire DEI department recently, their entire diversity, equity, inclusion department, the entire department. What does that tell you? Companies are beginning to feel extreme backlash. You have shows, Star Wars shows being canceled. You have all of these properties that are sprinkled with DEI are going to hell. You have games like Stellar Blade that are being panned by companies like IGN for being, having beautiful characters, saying that they look like dolls, and they're being crafted by incels, going on to make massive sales. Games that do not include woke propaganda, games that do not pander to feminism. Gamers are basically voting with their wallets right now, and the backlash is extreme. Companies are losing hundreds of millions of dollars, and in the case of Ubisoft, billions of dollars, because of spreading feminist propaganda. And then when you look at the simp economy collapsing around the world right now, guys, this is before the hell on earth really arrives. Because when we have the next economic downturn, and it'll eventually happen again, we're having a terrible economic times around the world, and they're just basically fudging with the numbers. But when they can't hide the numbers anymore, and we've really entered into that depression, guys, it's going to be hard for modern women, because every single one of them are going to be running to Only Fools and Lonely Fans, and that platform is being shut down soon enough anyway. But they're all going to be trying to run to Only Fools, Lonely Fans, and destroy their lives. And once you're on those platforms, your life is messed up, because you can never hide from it. Once you've been there trying to return to the real world, even getting a job at Walmart will become difficult, because everyone will know that you've been on there. And it really destroys your name. Like, for example, imagine trying, guys, you won't even be able to get a man. A lot of these women, they will never be like, it's so hard to even find a man that wants to date you and marry you and have a relationship with you. And it's very easy for men right now to ask a girl that they're dating, have you ever been on Only Fools or Lonely Fans? Have you ever had a platform you like that? Have you ever sold your pictures or underwear or anything online? And you have to be very careful, because these women will lie to you and say that they haven't. All right. But it's going to be very, very serious. And imagine like a guy is like, okay, well, listen, before we get married, you have to sign this contract, and it verifies that you have never been on these platforms. And if you have, then it basically will nullify the marriage, because because we married under fraud. And again, it's going to create a lot of problems for women. But for many of them, they're like, well, I don't have anything to lose anyway. Most women are not afraid of committing fraud. They're not afraid of committing fraud. They're not afraid of committing extortion. You have women who are being sent off to prison right now for committing extortion. An increasing number of women are facing long prison sentences for committing extortion against men, trying to extort men in cases where they claim that, you saw earlier, they claimed that, for example, like this one, I know this girl who was who slept with 20 different guys in 1 month, had her pregnant friend pee on a pregnancy test, and she texted all 20 guys a selfie with the pregnancy test saying she needed $550 for a to get rid of the baby before it was too late. I promise it wasn't me. Yeah, it probably was her. I mean, guys, think about it very carefully. These women are doing all of this all over the place. This is extortion. This is extortion. This is, they're destroying the lives of men. I mean, of course, men have very few rights, but men can use the legal system, and eventually this is going to catch up to a lot of women. When the next economic downturn arrives, and women are basically thinking they're going to use the simp economy to survive, or they're going to have the government, confiscate the assets of men. Men are basically going off the grid. The more they take away from men, the less money men will make. The more they tax men, the less money men will keep. For example, if a man wants to buy something, this whole capital gains thing. Oh, when you recognize capital gains, when you recognize, let me put it in the best terms. When you recognize, the sale of your product, for example, if you're holding gold and you convert it to cash, and they want to tax you on your gains. Well, here's the thing. A lot of people will basically just start saying, okay, well, if I want to buy a house, I'm going to buy it using Bitcoin. So many people are not even gonna like sell, and if it's been happening for a while. They're not even going to sell. They're not even going to they're not even gonna like sell their crypto anymore. They're gonna basically say, well, I would like to purchase this property. I have the cash for this property, but I'm going to pay in Bitcoin. And if you want me to pay for it, you're gonna have if you want this money, you're gonna have to accept Bitcoin. And there's a lot of people who will work with them these days, especially where Bitcoin is right now. And that's really it, because they're not going to deal with the whole capital gains thing. I'm so serious. And that's very much an increasing way of avoiding having to deal with something like this, because it's when you do something like that, it's basically like a trade. For example, you sell your house, you sell your house for Bitcoin, and or you buy a house for Bitcoin. Let's say you sell a house for Bitcoin, and you're holding on to the Bitcoin, and you just convert crypto around. It's very difficult. It's very, very difficult for them to really come at you in this respect. It's a very intriguing concept. It's a very, very intriguing concept for them to come at you in this respect, especially if you were to, like, when you convert one thing to another, it creates a very, very complex way of a means of them taxing you. For example, if you convert, there's a thing called Tether, and Tether is a cryptocurrency. Tether is a cryptocurrency. It is pegged to the United States dollar, but it is technically not a legal tender, so it's not cash. It is still 100% a cryptocurrency, and it could lose its value instantly. So if you convert your Bitcoin over to Tether, right, which again which is again pegged against United States dollar, then there's some issues right there. They cannot It's hard for them to say that, well, it's a capital gain converting it over to Tether in that respect. And you can always find people that will accept Tether. Guys, if they try to tax men are just going to find new ways to avoid being taxed and lower their tax liability.
The most noteworthy is the flower industry, which relies heavily on luck and has been significantly impacted by the economic downturn. For flower suppliers, May was originally a peak season for buying and selling flowers. It starts with the May Day wedding season, followed by Mother's Day, and then the climax with May 20th. Flowers represent romance, surprise, and a touch of joy in an everyday life. The more people crave this sweetness, romance, and surprise, the higher the price goes, with the industry growing by over 10% annually due to demand. But the upstream of the flower industry is undergoing a massive transformation. Once prominent unicorn companies are now in decline. Amora Flora, the first listed flower e-commerce company, was forced to delist in 2019. The chill in the industry has directly affected downstream flower retail stores. The lady in the video is a flower shop owner. The prices of flowers in her shop on this year's May 20th hit a new low, and sales were dismally poor. Yesterday, I said it didn't have high hopes for this year's May 20th, but reality turned out to be even worse than I imagined. The price of flowers has taken a nosedive over the past 2 days, catching everyone off guard. A few days before May 20th, flower merchants stocked up at the highest prices. When I placed my orders on the platform, it was also at peak prices, but today, the prices have plummeted to rock bottom. How am I supposed to sell these flowers? Wholesalers are everywhere saying flowers are cheap now, but our flower shop bought at the highest prices. In the end, we're accused of customers of being a greedy shop. This is truly a bitter pill to swallow. This round of harvesting is thorough. Now, let's talk about the orders on that day. As of now, I've only received 10 orders, whereas in previous years, it was at least 20, so it's halved this year. A couple of days ago, people were still ordering flowers, but today my phone is silent with no orders. Even those who come to buy flowers are only buying single flowers or small bouquets. Some are even buying Mother's Day flowers late for their moms instead of May 20th flowers. There are hardly any actual May 20th orders. The drastic reduction in flower orders has also impacted the food delivery industry. A delivery driver complained, "Guys, I seriously suspect I'm having a fake May 20th today. They said there'd be tons of orders, but at 8 a.m. I checked the platform and there wasn't a single order. Can you believe it? Not a single flower delivery order. I noticed that today there are no flower delivery orders and no food delivery orders either. Can we get some rain to boost orders?" The hardship and struggles, as well as the booms and busts of the flower industry, is the upstream and downstream sectors are perhaps only truly understood by those who have experienced them. A former supply chain manager at Yihua Technology, Li Chunming, is now engaged in flower wholesale. Now, besides his wholesale business, he has also supply platforms like Hema and Dingdong Maitai. Due to the short production and sales cycle of flowers and their severe price fluctuations, business like Li Chunming's have faced significant challenges, especially now with live streaming, e-commerce entering the industry. Downstream channels have quickly fragmented, and planning has given way to instant consumption. Each flower's journey through rapid transportation is a matter of life and death for the industry and merchants alike, akin to an adventurer's game. The flower market sometimes resembles the stock market. The more you sell without caution, the more you lose. Another player in the flower business, Yang Jing, entered the industry at the end of 2019, and he quickly became one of Hema's first suppliers. By 2022, his business has surpassed 100 million yuan. The fluctuations in flower prices allowed him to earn his first bucket of gold in the new industry. At that time, he bought 20 stem bundles of Carolina red roses for 35 yuan from the growing season and sold them for 140 yuan on Valentine's Day, making over 1 million yuan from a single deal. During Valentine's Day, the prices of roses at the Dounan flower market could change hourly. Feud roses, which normally cost 30-40 yuan per bundle, could even be speculated to be over 300 yuan. But if you miss the right time to buy and sell, losing 20 yuan per bundle is quite common. And merchants have to fulfill their commitments regardless. Many flower merchants lament that during holidays, buying flowers is a gamble. Because flowers are perishable goods, unlike regular consumer products, they have a short shelf life and are prone to spoilage. They need to be quickly traded and distributed. Although daily consumption is increasing, holiday gifting still dominates the market. This means that many growing bases remain holiday-oriented, concentrating their harvesting and listing before the holidays. The sudden surge in supply and demand can cause flower prices to fluctuate wildly around these times. The once thriving flower economy gave rise to companies like Flower Plus, which marketed flowers using a blind box concept. During good economic times, the business model was highly profitable and had significant advantages in inventory turnover and loss reduction. But in the current economic downturn, losses have become commonplace. According to industry insiders, companies like Flower Plus, which primarily offer flower subscription blind boxes, also make money from flower price fluctuations. Users pay 99 yuan and receives 4 random bouquets a month. When market prices are low, procurement costs are low, making it easy to earn profit. but when flower prices are high and they have to fulfill orders at a loss. What's more critical is that during holidays, everyone else raises prices, but Flower Plus still offers 4 bouquets for only 99 yuan a month. Users tend to subscribe during these high-price holidays. When other vendors sell roses for 30 to 50 cents each, Flower Plus still sells for 99 yuan, causing customers to switch to cheaper alternatives. Therefore, while Flower Plus random shipping is excellent for managing inventory, making a profit is more challenging.
So, guys, really what we're seeing here is the collapse of the simp economy, not just collapsing for women, but taking down various industries. It's taking down the hotel industry. It's taking down the jewelry industry. It's taking down the flower industry. And you have to remember that there are all kinds of other industries that are reliant upon these industries in of themselves. For example, there are industries that supply supply the hotels with products, supplies, a variety of things. There are also the people who work in there, like the maids, the cooks, and all of these people. They're going to be out of a job. All right. You know, when you think about the jewelry stores, it's not just the jewelry stores. It's the people that supply the jewelry stores with those jewels. All right, because many of them don't make the jewelry themselves. So it's the people that manufacture them. It's also the markets, for example, that produce gold, silver, diamonds. All right, because if men stop buying these things for women, then these entire markets, these entire industries then collapse. And when they collapse, people cannot pay their bills. Liquidity begins to dry up. Don't forget that banks are financing a lot of these things as well. So, for example, banks are financing the jewelry industry. They're financing the flower industry. They're financing the hotel industry. What happens when these industries start to collapse? The banks basically lose money. And we know that in China right now, for example, they're struggling financially. Like, people are going to the banks and getting fake money from the banks. All right. So yes, they're a bunch of scammers and crooks, but it also talks about the liquidity and how dangerous things are right now, how China is broke. Okay, the economy is in the gutter. It's very, very serious. It's a very, very bad thing that's happening over there. You have to understand that this is the reality that we are looking at right now. One thing that I always hate when I go to the bank, you go to the bank and they hand you the money. And they're like, okay, have a good day. The truth of the matter is that they're supposed to allow you to count that money immediately. You're supposed to count the money right in front of them, because they could easily turn around and say that, oh, I didn't do it. The money isn't fake. Guys, I told you, everywhere we go, there's going to be body cams. Men are going to be wearing body cams everywhere they go. All right, to protect themselves. They're going to be clip-on devices, and Apple's going to pretend like that's their big next innovation. I guarantee you that they're working on these wearables right now. They're working on these clip-on devices, because everywhere you go, you'll basically be people will be live streaming everywhere. They'll call it like the Apple badge, or whatever the hell I don't know what the hell they're gonna call it, but something that's catchy, and it's gonna, maybe it'll be circular. I don't know. They like circular shit, or whatever, and people will walk around with it like a Star Trek badge on, and it'll basically take videos, pictures, have some AI, and maybe it'll have like AI in there, whatever. And it'll basically record wherever you go. You'll be able to record, live stream all the time, and it'll functionally work as a body cam. And that's what a lot of men are going to do. Men are going to have this on everywhere they go. They go out. If a man goes into public, he goes shopping at Walmart, he's going to have his body cam on. He's driving and traveling. He's going to have his body cam on. He comes in contact with the police. He's going to have his body cam on. He comes in contact with women. He's going to have his body cam on. Everywhere he goes, he's going to have his body cam on. And that's just everything we're going to be under constant surveillance, constant observation. Because, it's what's amazing is you'll hear like something crazy will happen, and then you'll see like videos of like these events, and like people are always filming. Right? So imagine when everyone's wearing a body camera. It's going to be insane. We're going to be in an insane world when most people are now wearing these wearable devices, where everywhere you go, you have a wearable device on, and it's recording at all times. So there's going to be many different angles. Like, something happens, like some catastrophe happens, and there were hundreds of people who had these devices on, and the footage is just going to be compiled where nothing's going to it's going to be very hard to get away with anything. So that's kind of the reality, one of the realities that we're going to be heading into. But these industries are going to be collapsing rapidly because men are no longer funding them. And the state, this is going to affect the state indefinitely. And trying to get men back to go back to society, get back, marry again. Right now, what China's trying to do is they're trying to make it very easy for you to marry, but very difficult for you to divorce. I told you guys, I can't stand the Simps. Can't stand them. I've told you plenty of times that the simp is the manosphere is full of the manosphere is full of simps, and the reason why is because they have nowhere to go. And you look at the simp right here, Philip Foy. He's a simp on my video where woman passes away alone in her cubicle and no one knows this for 4 days. He responds and says, "You say all the time, AG." So all the time, meaning that he's been watching a lot of my videos. Women are not meant to be without a husband. I respectfully disagree. I know of women in my life who are happily single and functional without a man. And this guy's an idiot. This guy is full of crap. The reality is that a lot of these women are lying. Most women are not happy by themselves. They go and they pretend and they post videos online of how happy they are without men, and they're living, and they try to show off and like all this stuff. They will never admit what's actually going on. Okay. And then you know what the really sucky thing about it is? I have to maintain my frame as a man. I have to be stronger than all of you. All right, because you're gonna challenge me. You're gonna challenge the reality. You're gonna challenge the things that I know to try to step me up. But guess what? I've lived. I have experience. I've learned. Not This is where it comes in. It's not just my own experiences. I've learned from the experiences of other men. So when you guys, and some of you will figure it out. Some of you will remain Sims forever, but some of you will figure it out. And you're like, oh, wait a minute, Angry was right. Angry was right. And then when I'm like, yeah, I was right. Well, why are you getting angry at me for, Angry? I didn't know any better. You didn't know any better. I was teaching. I was preaching. I was letting you know. I showed you how I explained these things to you. I gave you examples. I put on videos illustrating this, and you don't care. I give you, I talk about the Roman Empire, but you still don't care. And now when you see it for yourself, you're like, oh, Angry was right. Like, bro, you were harassing me. You're harassing me. Why the hell should I even, get the hell out of here. Go watch Destiny's videos, streamer Destiny. Like, go watch this guy video. Go watch this guy's videos. Like, that lifestyle he's living is it's a gateway to destruction. Y'all remember Power Rangers Countdown to Destruction? Like, that's just really what's happening in society right now, and happening in the lives of a lot of women. It's countdown to destruction because those lives are unsustainable. Women were not designed to live without husbands, and now as things go to hell, guys, the state is not going to run in and rescue them. And most women that are like, oh, we don't need a man, we don't need a man. These women are absolutely miserable. They are lying, okay? And their egos are so big that they will never admit it. Guys, you will never truly understand how stubborn a woman is, okay? Women are much more stubborn than men. A man will learn his lesson through hardship and pain and suffering. A woman will not learn her lesson through hardship, pain, and suffering. She will just continue to say that she is a victim and scream and holler no matter what. It's something inside, no matter what. Guys, a lot of women would rather expire than they will stay on that hill to the end of their days. And even if it's preventable, they would rather go down with their ego than ever admit that they were wrong. This is how women are. Okay, it's very, very difficult for a woman to ever say, I am sorry. While men are the ones who are always apologizing, women refuse to apologize because that would mean that they would have to submit. All right, they would have to submit in any way. We are dealing with masculine individuals. Someone like Soraya, for example, is an amazing woman. She is constant. She will apologize. She will ask, is there anything that she did wrong? This is a woman who will submit. And it's unbelievable. And it doesn't mean that she's a pushover. It doesn't mean that people can disrespect her. But she is a woman who will submit to a man and treat a man with respect. Okay? And here's the thing about that. The way that she treats her husband is the way that she will treat other men. This is the honest to goodness truth. It's a pattern that I've noticed about women in general. The way that the way that a woman treats her husband is the way that she will treat other men in society. Okay? It is not just a one-off thing. Most women have terrible behavior. So if women are treating men in society horribly, if they are treating the average man around them poorly, that's how they're more than likely treating the man that they're with. or the thing is, or it's just very temporary, because once she gets, comfortable with you, then she's going to be basically, treating you like crap afterwards. That's women are most women today do not like most men. And it's a sad reality. When I see simps like Philip, like this dude could say, bro, get off my channel. Like, bro, stop watching my videos. All right. Get the hell out of here. Go unsubscribe, little bro. I don't want you here. Get out of here, you simp. Get out of here, simp. And I know some of these simps are like, ha ha ha, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to keep watching your video anywhere. You're like, these dudes are losers, straight up losers. Like, they're not wanted here. All right, you're running your mouth, you're talking crap, and you wanna like try to contradict me. Like, that's what I said. Like, bro, get out of here. And it's okay if you don't agree with me on some things, but when you're like literally on big things, no, bro, our views are just too different. You need to go and you need to be with your own kind. And there's a lot of simps in the manosphere. There's a lot of the manosphere is rife with simps because they have nowhere else to go. You are one of them, so go and find your own kind. There are tons of manosphere simp channels out there. Go and find your people. Be with your people. All right. But the thing is that a lot of them, they know that it's a gateway to destruction. It's a countdown to destruction, because simps destroy society. And what do? They go and they hide behind strong men. They go and they look for strong men to help protect them, to support them, because they have nowhere else to go. These men who destroyed their own communities, destroyed our society, they have nowhere else to go. And now that they have nowhere else to go, they're coming to other men, and they're still bringing that simp behavior and that simp nonsense that led us to the society, to the dystopia that we are living in right now. And these men will not, guys, they will not learn their damn lessons. These simps will not learn their lessons, no matter how bad it gets. They will try to argue with you under the table. And I think to myself, how dare some simp tries to argue with me?
With the advent of live streaming e-commerce, flower merchants find it even harder to resist price fluctuations. A surge in orders might lead to more significant losses. A flower merchant from Yunnan specializing in dried and preserved flowers, He Xiaoshen became a video creator in March 2023. With 2 months, his monthly sales reached 3 to 4 million yuan, with a net profit of around 100,000 yuan after deducting cost of employees and warehousing. After sales increased, price fluctuations and supply issues become major obstacles. Last December, Mr. He's shop sold 50,000 units of a single item at a buy one get one free price of 19.9 yuan. The supply couldn't keep up with the soaring demand, causing the cost of that item to rise from 4 to 5 yuan to 8 yuan, and at its peak up to 12 yuan. That surge in orders resulted in a loss of at least 2 yuan per order. He had to switch to pre-sale and delay shipments, which led to a drop in his store's rating on the video platform. In contrast, Yang Jing, who operates on a traditional wholesale model, can maintain price stability through inventory. When market prices drop too sharply, customers turn to the market for supplies, forcing him to lower his prices until there's no profit left. Fortunately, he also owns a dozen flower shops that can absorb some of the inventory. At one point, he had over 2,000 bundles of flowers left. By distributing them to his shops, with each shop handling 100 to 200 bundles, he could manage the surplus. If there is not a fallback channel, flowers often rot in hand. In Kunming, near every large flower greenhouse, it's common to see people dumping entire loads of flowers into garbage bins. Nearby, there are usually a few elderly people who rush to grab them. Soon, these discarded flowers might be woven into wreaths for tourists or sold casually by the roadside, with a large bucket going for 10 yuan. The workers responsible for cleaning up told the media that they had to remove 15 to 16 cartloads of flowers waste every day, each cart weighing about a ton. They start cleaning at 4 a.m. and continue until 1 or 2 p.m., often unable to finish even after 2 days of continuous work. Currently, the situation might be even worse. As the economic downturn affects every industry, merchants' losses, piles of flower waste, and the collapse of the simp economy are just the tip of the iceberg.
Guys, this is what happens when men walk away. How do you think things are going to look a few years from now? Not even a few years from now. It could happen at any time when hell breaks loose, guys. Okay? When hell breaks loose, it's not a joke. It's not a joke at all. hell is going to break loose. Hell is going to break loose. Way too many women want something for nothing. There's a story about a woman who was a streamer in China, and this man basically finessed her. And what these dudes are they're doing is they're basically going after gold diggers, and because gold diggers are so greedy, they're now using that against them to rob these gold diggers.
Scheme is too deep. In Huzhou, Zhejiang, a man showered a beautiful female streamer with gifts and even offered to give her an apartment if she agreed to be his girlfriend.
Sounds too good to be true, but a lot of these women are so greedy that they go for it and they don't even realize that now they're going to get finessed. By the way, this video comes from China's Unvarnished channel, and I'll go ahead and link that in the description for you guys as well, so you can go and check them out and support their content.
The female streamer thought she had met a wealthy suitor and eagerly accepted. The man indeed paid an initial installment of 180,000 yuan for the apartment, and the property was registered under the streamer's name. But the ensuing scheme brought her to tears. The female streamer, Xiao Chao, is fair-skinned and beautiful. Her daily job involves using her looks and talents in her live stream to entertain her viewers and get gifts from them. However, Xiao Chao had never encountered a truly wealthy man before, so despite her efforts, she only made a little money. Until recently, a fan named Lu Jun entered her live stream and quickly became her top supporter by showering her with gifts. Xiao Chao immediately noticed Lu Jun and offered him a perk, adding him as a friend. During their chats, Lu Jun expressed his admiration for Xiao Chao and praised her live streaming skills. He mentioned that his real estate company happened to be looking for a streamer and asked if Xiao Chao would be interested in joining his company. Xiao Chao was flattered, but she knew she could only sing and dance and wasn't good at sales, so she politely declined. However, Lu Jun continued to pursue Xiao Chao fervently, showcasing his wealth. He claimed to earn millions annually and said that if Xiao Chao agreed to be his girlfriend, he would give her an apartment to show his sincerity. Young and wealthy, offering her an apartment, Xiao Chao's goal as a streamer was to find a rich husband, so she couldn't resist Lu Jun's promises. And so, within less than a week of knowing each other, she willingly became Lu Jun's girlfriend. After some tender moments, Lu Jun took Xiao Chao by the hand and bought an apartment. The property was registered under Xiao Chao's name, but Lu Jun explained that he was tight on startup funds at the moment, so he transferred 180,000 yuan to Xiao Chao's bank account to help her make the down payment. He promised to pay off the remaining 970,000 yuan loan within 3 years. Caught up in the joy of owning a home, Xiao Chao didn't think much and signed the mortgage contract. After buying the apartment, Xiao Chao and Lu Jun started a sweet relationship. However, Lu Jun claimed to have cash flow problems and borrowed 60,000 yuan from Xiao Chao, promising to repay her in a few days. Xiao Chao thought Lu Jun had been so good to her, so she didn't hesitate at all to lend him the 60,000 yuan. But when it was time to repay the mortgage, Lu Jun disappeared without a trace. Xiao Chao frantically called Lu Jun's phone, but no one answered. So, Xiao Chao immediately rushed to Lu Jun's company, only to find it deserted. It's over. I've been scammed," Xiao Chao muttered to herself, realizing she was now stuck with a mortgage debt of over 1 million yuan, and she panicked. So, what exactly happened? Why did Lu Jun disappear after gifting the apartment? It turns out that Lu Jun had set up the scam from the very beginning. He pretended to be wealthy and pursued Xiao Chao to make her his girlfriend, then promised her an apartment, but the apartment was a trap. Lu Jun's true identity was that of a sales agent for the developer. He was selling apartments for the developer. The developer had launched a zero down payment promotion, where customers didn't have to pay a cent. The developer would cover the 180,000 yuan down payment in a roundabout way, and the original 970,000 yuan loan would be inflated to 1.15 million yuan. In other words, Lu Jun used the 180,000 yuan down payment provided by the developer's promotion, which didn't come from his pocket, but from the developer's sales rebate. He lied to Xiao Chao, saying that he was helping her with the down payment to gain her trust, get her love and money, while also earning the developer's commission. And the brilliance of the scheme lies in the fact that the contracts were all signed by Xiao Chao, and the loan was agreed to by Xiao Chao herself. If she wanted to back out, she would be breaching the contract. Xiao Chao had no choice but to seek help from a mediator, hoping to find Lu Jun and cancel the contract. This incident sparked heated discussions, with some netizens saying that this scumbag taught a lesson to materialistic women who love vanity. They were scammed of their money and their love. Others asked, isn't the developer part of the scam? Could this scam have been carried out without the developer's cooperation? Isn't the developer a beneficiary? Another netizen commented, I'm telling you, you won't win a lawsuit in court. This has nothing to do with the developer. The house and loan are legitimate. These types of purchase contracts and loan agreements are all signed with fingerprints, and they ask you to confirm everything on camera. You won't have any evidence to accuse them of fraud, and the court won't just listen to your side of the story. You can't overturn the contract unless you recorded everything from the start. In fact, such zero down payment traps are not uncommon. Some agents and salespeople use the tactic of offering an apartment in a romantic relationship to lure people into buying a house. Once the loan is approved, they vanish without a trace. So, there's no such thing as a free lunch. If someone offers you an apartment worth over $1 million yuan after knowing you for just a week, think about what they might be after. Don't be greedy. The root of all trouble lies in your greed. When you try to take advantage of someone, you give them the opportunity to exploit you. What do you think about this incident? Why do you think the female streamer Xiao Chao was scammed? Feel free to leave a comment and share your thoughts. This incident not only reveals an individual's scam, but also reflects how greed and vanity can easily lead people to be deceived in certain situations.
Now, guys, you have to remember that these are the same women who are demanding dowries in China. They're demanding dowries of typically 80,000 United States dollars to almost 1 million United States dollars. And these are women who are in their 40s and 50s. They're crying that they can't find boyfriends. They can't find men that are willing to marry them. They're requiring that men make tons of money. So the guy he has to be a 6'6" guy. This is crazy, guy. Chris is crazy, y'all. He has to be a 6'6" guy in China. The average man in the United States only makes around $50,000 a year. The average man in China makes somewhere between maybe $20,000 and $30,000 a year. That's a solid income. That's a solid income, middle class income over there. And these women are demanding 6'6" guys in China. 6'6" guys. It is making $30,000 a year with a master's degree is a good salary. Very, very good salary in China. And these women are demanding 6'6" guys. Think about how crazy they are. Think about how absolutely insane they are.
Often, our desire for luxury and material things causes us to lose our rationality and fall into various traps. The experience of the beautiful streamer Xiao Chao is just a microcosm. In real life, there are many similar stories where greed and desire often become the bait for traps.
你花100块钱给你妈妈去买了一件衣服。
Have you ever felt this way? If you spend 100 yuan to buy a piece of clothing for your mother, she might be happy for half a year and feel that her son is very caring. But if you buy a piece of clothing for a girl, she might criticize this and that, and even think the clothes are not good looking. When a wealthy person drives a BMW and takes her to eat a few yuan worth of street food, it's called romance. But if you spend a lot of effort and 800 yuan to take her out for a fancy dinner, she might think you're just showing off. She might even ask if you have any red envelopes. Some girls are really too realistic, aren't they?
现在的一些姑娘呢，四不像走啊，八不像上啊。
Some young women today are completely unwilling to do anything. They don't want to work, don't want to handle big or small tasks, and only think about enjoying results without putting in any effort.
Y'all, I kept warning you. This is why the Manosphere just keeps on growing, all right? Look at the Simp Economy in China. They call it the Simp Economy. That's the actual term for it, all right? Where did they get the term simp from? It came from the Manosphere, all right? Our influence is so great, it is expanding and spreading throughout the entirety of the world. Women have been making these terrible decisions, and guys, every man is suffering. I told you guys, the black man is suffering, the white man is suffering, the Hispanic man is suffering, the Asian man is suffering, the Indian man is suffering. And all these men in all of these different countries are going through the same exact thing. And what are they doing? They're checking in. They're coming back to the Manosphere and saying, India checking in. Okay. Brazil checking in. All right. I'm in the Congo checking in. All right, you know, like I'm not. It's really really not a game. It's really really not a game. You got dudes in remote places of the world checking in and letting you know, don't come into the bush over here. Don't come into the bush because they're putting up with the same bullshit with these women in the bush. All right, they don't have a boat. They don't have a boat. They don't have a. They don't have a pot to. They don't have a pot to. You know, relieve themselves in. There's a term like that, and they're out here in the bush misbehaving and getting on, saying they want everything, and this man needs to give them everything, or else his patriarchy. This is how, guys. Just think about how serious this garbage has expanded into the bush. All right, no wonder men are running away quickly. Every man is suffering from the same BS right now. Women are doing the same thing to every man around the world. That's why men are fleeing so many of these countries and going overseas and finding women who are fit, feminine, friendly. And if they go over to these countries and they find crap over there, they're going to leave. The only men that are going to stick behind and put up with crap are the men who get trapped or the men who are low value men, the simps. And no one really cares about a simp. No one really cares about a simp, and no one really likes a simp.
Either rely on their parents or show off, dressing up in exaggerated and flashy ways, chasing after superficial appearances. They dislike studying and working, only loving makeup and fashion. Yet, they consider themselves very charming, believing they are the center of attention. In reality, they have nothing and are left with empty hands. As they grow older, they will eventually be ruthlessly discarded. When they reach an older age, they start to complain that there are no good men left in the world. Do you really deserve to have a good man? Those good men disappear the moment you chose mediocrity.
Guys, these men are not playing around. These men are pissed off. You see, women think that men are stupid. Guys, right now, women are trolling us. They know exactly what they are doing. They are trolling us, and they've been trolling us for a long damn time. And it only happened because of the Simps and the way that society is structured. But as men are walking away, are going MWA, men with alternatives, it's becoming harder and harder for women to keep the scam going, to keep the crap going, because men are not tolerating it anymore. Women created this society for themselves. The women created these disparities for themselves. Women have led to men just saying that, hey, we're frustrated. We're tired of the crap. We're tired of the games. We're tired of the nonsense. We're not going to tolerate anymore. We're not going to tolerate anymore. And women are going to have to basically face consequences for their actions and the things that they've done in society. You know, I've said this plenty of times that nothing lasts forever. Nothing lasts forever. And women are the ones who made this. Women are the ones who did this. Women are the ones who absolutely did this, and they're going to have to face consequences for what they've done. They really are going to have to face the consequences for what they've done in Western society, because it's absolutely terrible. It's absolutely terrible what these individuals have done, and they're going to basically face consequences, because that's the one thing that women are basically always, women are always bailed out of consequences, but this time around they're going to be surprised when consequences are going to be something they're not going to be able to avoid. They're going to think that society, the Sims, or shaming or going after men is going to work, and they're going to find that it's not.
To improve, and only wanted to gain without working. How could they possibly come to you? Do you understand?
Having seen so many women who hope to gain without working, I want to share my views. There is a group of women who all hope to gain without working. Initially, they find that women who are attractive seem to be able to achieve this. However, women who are not as attractive cannot achieve this without working. Therefore, they strive to make themselves more beautiful. They begin to undergo plastic surgery and beauty treatments to enhance their appearance. However, over time, they gradually realize that relying solely on beauty cannot guarantee gaining without working, because now there are too many beautiful women, while opportunities to easily obtain free resources are extremely limited. Wealthy men are also few, and the number of women hoping to gain without working is increasing, leading to severe competition. In the end, even very beautiful women find it difficult to achieve gaining without working. Any path of excessive competition eventually becomes no longer a shortcut. Now, there are too many women hoping to gain without working. For them, continuing to gain without working is likely to be very difficult.
Yeah, guys, it's just, you can see the excuses that women are trying to put in. They're all trying to play men. They thought they were going to get away with it. They thought they were going to use men, treat men as disposable. And now reality is setting in for them, and they're finding that, hey, it's not going to be that easy. There are going to be consequences for their actions and for the things that they're doing. Men are standing up for themselves, and and basically it's basically Return of the Jedi. They're finding that the world is not as easily manipulable. Men cannot be as easily manipulated as women want them to be. All right. Women have only been able to get away with this nonsense because society has incentivized women. Society has created a reality where women can take advantage of men. But now everything, the pendulum will swing it's been far left, and it will then swing to the right. And when it swings to the right, women will never be able to handle it because they've built their houses on quicksand. I also want to remind you guys that, we actually have a great place for you called the Angry Guy Clubhouse. Angry Guy Clubhouse is pretty awesome. There's a link to a description of video. We have new articles on there. We have videos on there. One of our new articles, Women Are Driving Men to Isolation and Celibacy. The Dark Ages were orchestrated. The Blueprint for Escaping the Rat Race. So we have guides on how to get out, how to, escape the rat race. The world is getting strange. That's a good one. Society must collapse so that men can rebuild it. It's time for a reboot. That's a really great article for you guys to go and check out. Women's rights crumbled after the Roman Empire collapsed. There's a very, very good article for you guys to go and read. We have so much on here for you guys. Gen X, the silent rage of Gen X, forging the fires of reality. When everything goes downhill, guys, you guys are going to see how Gen X is going to be that generation that survives and thrives during all of it. And also, when you guys sign up for this, you will also get a free copy of our Digital Nomad Blueprint. There's a link to it in the description of the video. There's a link to the Angry Guy Clubhouse in the description of the video, so you can go sign up and you will get a free copy of the Digital Nomad Blueprint when you sign up to the Angry Guy Clubhouse. I mean, guys, think about the reality. Think about the reality of all of this. Women created this dystopia for themselves, and they don't want to live in it, but they're going to have to live with it and face accountability for it. They're the ones responsible for all of the disparities. They're the ones responsible for their pain and suffering. They're the ones responsible for it, and men are not going to bail them out. What do you guys think regarding all of this? Men going their own way or crashing the simp economy? Let me know your thoughts. We'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away. And cheers.